well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. And I go, what's that about? He said, it's just about obedience, David. He said, it's not about building a ministry. It's not about being a famous this. It's not about writing a book. It's not about being an executive in your company. He said, it's just being a faithful servant. He said, that's all I've ever asked you to be. And he said, you will enter into my Father's happiness if you do that. So that was when I was in my mid 40s. When I'm in my 50s, in my mid 50s, a gentleman called me and asked me to go with him because I do still have, just like you, healing gifts. And he was going to church, and the Lord says, you're supposed to heal the sick there. So he called me, he says, would you go with me? I said, sure, whatever. To me, that's like going to a party and stuff. So I went over and picked him up, and we're driving. He says, David, we're trying to figure you out. He says, we've offered you positions in the church. We've offered you itinerant ministries. We've offered you churches that call asking for a pastor. We've offered you all these things, and you always turn us down. Do you just not like us? And I said, no, that's not it. I said, God never told me to do that. He told me to go to Hallmark Cards, and I have a very significant ministry there. And he goes, well, we know that. That's one reason we want to hire you. And I said, but this is what God told me a few years ago. He told me that I was just to be a good and faithful servant, and that I would enter into my Father's happiness if I did what he asked.